Hello everyone, my name is Elisa. I'm putting together this video for the HFAthleteSearch as requested. Team Zero Fucks Given. Talk a little bit about my story, what I'm passionate about, see what happens. Basically, my life started off differently than I think a lot of kids. I think a lot of kids grow up with role models and people that they admire and love and care for. I grew up spending my time trying to be the opposite of what someone was to me, my mother. She was in her own world with disease, addiction. She survived many forms of abuse and really wasn't the person that I wanted to be. So I spent probably my first 20 years of life living my life instead of for someone, really against someone. I spent every waking moment thinking I would do exactly opposite what she would. I didn't want to be that person. And I think what happened was that even though it's an admirable thing to do and to try to be better than, the past, I think living your life for someone or even against someone really isn't living your own life. And I was very lost, spiraled into my own situation of abuse, my own addictions, and didn't even see it coming. And that having been said, it took me a long time to come back to who I really was, because I lived my life thinking I needed to be somebody that I really don't. Right after kind of getting through that period of my life, I had scheduled a physical exam for a pre-surgical exam for my first knee surgery. I've had 5 knee surgeries and 9 procedures. And while I was on the table getting a physical exam, they found a lump in my breast. I was 22 and facing breast cancer. So that was a shock to me at that time. But it, I think, saved me in a lot of ways, because it really opened my eyes to the fact that you have to live your life, not for somebody else and not because of somebody else and not because of pressures that you put on yourself to be different than someone. And it really grounded me. To have to go through that at 22 is not an easy thing. I'm good now, but it really was earth-shattering to me at that time. And it taught me a lot about myself. It taught me a lot about my strength that I didn't think I had. It taught me a lot about who I want to be, what I want to be, and who I want in my life. And I think that although it wasn't a fun way to learn those lessons, I'm thankful for it now. It taught me that I'm a fighter. It taught me that I have a lot of perseverance and a lot more strength. And it was challenging. Shortly thereafter, I went through medical school. I'm a veterinarian. It's a struggle in its own way, but a good one. And then sort of went on to doing things in my life and having things in my life that sort of called to my addictive personality, but in a different way. For example, I spent many years in the sport of canine dock diving, but of course in my personal fashion, I couldn't just go and do a competition. I had to enter all of my dogs in every competition and spent about 5 years traveling half the time of the year, carting my dogs all over the country. No regrets for it, but it's not something that I have been doing a lot of lately. Again, sort of not realizing that this is who I am, that I'm an all or nothing kind of person. And it's taken me a long time to accept that, because I feel like at sometimes extremes are difficult to deal with, and I think that I can be difficult to deal with. I'm sure there's lots of people who would agree with that. But it's also a good thing to be an all or nothing person, because I have found that it's really easy for me to put everything into somebody or something, but it's also equally as easy for me to step away and know that it's not good for me. So unfortunately, I'm not good at the gray. I'm good at the black and I'm good at the white, but the gray is going to be always my weakness, so to speak. Which kind of speaks to my passions. Obviously, fitness is a passion for me, but I will say this: my biggest passion and my biggest thing that inspires me and that I get excited and motivated about is pretty much anything that someone is that passionate about. In other words, apathy just fucking sucks. I don't understand people who don't take interest in what they're doing. I don't understand how you can give up on yourself. I don't. There have been so many cases and so many times where I could have done that, friends could have done that, etc. And I just don't get it. I don't understand it. So passion for me is really pretty much, I'm passionate about passion. If I'm doing it, I'm passionate. I'm doing it all the way. I'm not going to give half effort in anything that I do. That goes for work, it goes for the gym, it goes for relationships. Anything that I take responsibility for is my passion. Because if I'm going to put that much into it, it's going to be something that I care a lot about. If I don't, then I don't put any into it. And that's just the way it is. So for me, what inspires me, whether it's something that I even agree with or not, it's not even something that I have to say, oh, I have a common interest with someone and that's what I'm passionate about. If I see somebody, like I have a friend who's passionate about breeding tarantulas. I do actually like spiders. Is it something that I'm passionate about? Of course not. But I love hearing her talk about her spiders and how she knows so much information about. She knows every genus and every species, and I get excited listening to her talk about getting a shipment of spiders in. That's because I care about her. That's because she's part of my inner circle. So I'm passionate about the things that people get excited for, whether it's something I do or not. And for me, that's what life is about. I see so many people, I guess, that have these things that have happened to them in the past. Oh, I can't do that because I had a knee surgery, or oh, I can't do that because whatever the excuse is. And that's what it is. It's really an excuse. Those kinds of things just aggravate me. And it sounds like I'm not being compassionate, and I certainly understand taking a step and taking some time and taking care of yourself, but it's not a crutch. Breast cancer is not a crutch. Knee surgeries are definitely not a crutch. Addiction, not a crutch. It's just not. It's what you want out of life. You make it a priority. That's the way it is. And I could easily say, oh yeah, I had post-traumatic stress disorder, or I had, abuse in my past, and, poor me. No, that's not something that I even think about on a daily basis. I'm sure it affects everyone in different ways. I refuse to let it dictate to me how I will and will not be in the future, because that's not what life is. I look back to see where I've come. I really have worked hard to put the past in the past, to be better than I was. I know everyone's different. I realize everyone's different, and everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses. But for me, my biggest strength is perseverance. It's my second wind. I rely on that more than probably anything. And I know that when I'm tired and I don't want to fight anymore, whether it's in the gym or in life or at work or whatever the case may be, I'm going to get that second wind, and I know it's coming, and I get knocked down, and I know that's coming, and that I'm strong enough, and that I've gone through worse and made it through, and I'm proud of where I've come from, and I'm not upset about the past at all because it's made me who I am. Maybe I wouldn't be where I am without that. And so for me, passion is really pretty much anything that I put my heart into, pretty much everything that I do. Yeah, I'm intense, and yeah, I'm extreme, and yeah, those things are sometimes looked at in a negative way. I'm fucking proud of it. I I can't I can't think of anybody that can say, you know what, I'm really disappointed that I gave 110%. Even if you fail, it just doesn't, those words don't come out of anybody's mouth. You can be disappointed and you can be saddened that maybe you didn't get where you wanted to go the first time, but that's not what it's about for me. So, Hawk Fitness to me, it's funny. I found Hawk Fitness on a Google search looking for gym clothes with a skull on it, um, which some of them have. And I bought a tank top, I believe, and I immediately started looking through the rest of what was available. And I became a fan, and it's been a long time now. Been buying and been with, the team, so to speak, for a while now, a long time. And it's funny because I'm not a shopper. I don't like to shop, and yet I'm so excited to see what things are out there, and I really enjoy seeing everyone succeed and try and do different things, and I'm constantly amazed and inspired by people on the team. Learned a lot from people, and I've made some amazing friendships through Hawk Fitness that I'm so blessed to have, and will be lifelong. And that's what I'm going to get out of this, sponsorship or not. I think I would do a phenomenal job. I feel confident that I could add to the team, but in the reality of the whole scheme of things, I've already won, because I have people in my life now that I can't imagine not. So that's kind of where I came from. That's what I'm about. Not at this point, going to change that. Not that anyone's asking, because it's really who I am. It's taken me a long time to accept some of these things about myself and try to not be more in the gray. I'm black and white. That's the way it is. And I hope you get a little bit more perspective for my personality, who I am. Pretty upfront, pretty brutally honest. I think anyone who knows me is not going to argue with that. And sometimes I could use that inner voice a little more often, but so be it. At least you know where I'm standing with things. I hope you have a good day. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your consideration, and have an awesome day.